Hey friends, welcome to Bark Pamper Kitchen, and today we're talking about lunch. You can tell me what is your go-to lunch during the week. We're going to be making some soup, and this is more like Asian type of cuisine. So I already have some stock that I've been heating up. It does take a little while to heat up, but it is bone broth. So if you've never had bone broth, you can get it in chicken or in beef. It's created from the bone of that particular animal. You can make your own bone broth also. If you need a recipe, you can make it in a pressure cooker, and I have a recipe for that. So I have chicken bone broth that is in there warming up. Now, how many of you have kids that like ramen? So you know that's not the best little soup lunch, but you can take those noodles and you can add the bone broth. Leave out that flavor packet because it's filled with salt and it's not that healthy for you. You could try some other type of noodle. So these are rice noodles, similar to the ramen, and especially if you need gluten-free, that is a terrific option. So this is like an egg drop soup. When you use the bone broth, you'll notice when you taste it, it'll have that Asian kind of taste to it already. So that's why I'm using the bone broth compared to regular broth. It is higher in protein also. So this has 9 grams of protein in it. It is low sodium, so you're going to want to add some of your own salt. So we're putting in some pink salt. What kind of salt do you use? Do you use the Himalayan salt? Do you use sea salt? Do you use iodized salt? You can tell us in the comments. And then we're going to be adding some other things for flavor. You can also add, I have some leftover steak, so that is what I'm going to put in mine. You could easily use like the frozen chicken strips that are grilled for some meat. If you want that in there, you don't have to at all. It's just whatever you want to put in. And this can be done quickly. I think the longest part is bringing your broth up to a boil so that it's warm enough. So you can play with the flavors, do what you like, leave out what you don't like. But if you do want it to have that Asian kind of taste, you also want to add some sesame oil. You only want a couple of drops. You do not need much. And it completely changes your flavor there. All right, and then you can add onion flakes. You can add diced onions. I forgot to get the onion flakes. Can you grab it down there? Yep. I know there's not much of it. So, you know, if you want to measure it out, you can. Or you can eyeball it. You can put it right in. So, probably about half a teaspoon of onion flakes. Like I said, you could chop up your own onion. Garlic, I'm pressing a clove. You could use garlic powder. If you want to put in all those aromatics, meaning the things that give it a lot of flavor, which is usually your garlic and onion. And then we're also going to add some fresh ginger. Now this is, I had showed on a previous video, a previous live about storing ginger. It's great to store it in the freezer. So like I buy this at a place called Produce Junction where you can get things in bulk, and it's way too much to use. So you don't want it to go bad, so we cut it down to about the size that you would use in a typical meal. So it is going to be a bit larger than what I actually need just for this soup. But something that I found out, my son was the first one to add it to a dish, and he realized how easily it is to take the skin off when it's frozen. So it's not too difficult to do it when it's not frozen, but it's even, you know, easier for it to come off. So you want to take your skin off, and then I'm going to use the zester to grate it, and it grates up really quick and easily. When you use the unfrozen ginger, it can sometimes get a little mushy when you go to use the zester. So this kind of, it doesn't come out that way. So just kind of peel off using a paring knife the skin enough so that I can grate some of it right into the pan here, or the pot if you want the right term. So you can do it that way, you can rub it across, you get the same results. So it does stick to the inside there, so you just hit it on the side to get it to come off. Ginger can be very spicy, so you may want to play with it to see how much you enjoy in it. If you're giving it, especially if you're giving it to a child, you want to see how much they can handle. All right. And something else that's really good in this, definitely required, not required taste, what's the word I'm looking for, is chili garlic sauce. Okay, it's very spicy, so, an acquired taste, there we go. You don't need a whole lot. So this is 1/4 of a teaspoon measure, and just for the amount that we are making, that's probably plenty. It can be very spicy. So if you don't care for like red pepper flakes, you definitely do not want to add this. But both of these things can be found in the Asian section of most supermarkets. They're not terribly hard to find. All right. So I said it's an egg drop soup. So we're going to whisk an egg here, and then I'll show you a great way to drop it in. Now you really want your soup hot, your broth hot, so that as soon as the egg is hitting it, it's cooking it. And you want to add it at the end, you don't want to overcook it. So I also wanted to put some spinach in mine, so I'm going to add that before the egg. And if you've used a lot of spinach, you know that it wilts down pretty quickly. Wanted a little greenery there in my lunch. So put that in. And if you're going to add the noodles, you would have already put those in too. But you definitely want it in there before the egg. Okay. Crack our egg here. What is your, like when you get Chinese food, what is like your favorite dish to order? Okay. Let's give that a whisk. And if you're on right now, remember to tell us where you're joining from. Say hi. If you're watching on the replay, you can say replay. All right. Let's see. Is that spinach? I guess I could have added some more. You could always, whatever you're serving the soup into, you could put some spinach in there first, and it would pretty much wilt down when you add the hot to it. All right. So now I should be stirring this as I do it, but I don't have another hand to do that. So, but this is a can strainer. So most of the times you would put it on top of the can to drain out, you know, whatever's in it, but it works for other things too. And so it'll drop it in to our soup. Look at that. It's working all over. And that is cooking up in there. Can you see in it? And the reason I'm doing it through the strainer is because you want it kind of in that strained look. You don't want it in clumps. Otherwise, it's not looking like egg drop soup. So, there we go. So that is a quick, easy, Asian-inspired lunch, which would be much healthier than those ramen packets. And we'll just turn that off. And if there's anybody that you can think of that would find this helpful, that would enjoy this recipe, you are welcome to share the video out. And thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.